Full fatality, no soul dies, but death tolls with stories told dramatically. Still fighting on with the same song, every game on systematically. My heart goes but won't miss a beat. On the right night with the light phase, it's an eye shade with the family. HD, no lo-fi, so quantum, we 5D. Transmit my thoughts on. Heart shots feel so strong, high energy, I flows on. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Camping. Protecting my element, within triple season my melanin. 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 Down on tip up in the air, got me going dog. Travel trapping on the collie, I be on my guard. I stay going hard. Don't need to wonder if I got it. I heard the beast all over your body. I got the remedy, hope that you got it. Feeling sick, need a fix, something to get you real quick. We got to drop a terraform and come and get this dog flick. Wellness on, sickness gone, time is on. God realm, tune into the frequency and get you some of this dog tail. Protecting my element, within triple system my melanin. Protecting my element, within triple system my melanin. Protecting my element, within triple system my melanin. System my melanin. My suburban skin like suburban, working my turban. I don't do burden, I'm the best version. Keeping my energy clear, no swerving. As I'm emerging, feminine surgeon, Lilith and Leo, lady submerging. 901 goddess, ain't no other version. I say Ogun, my power emerging. Orisha Deva rendezvous, kicking with the Kung Fu dude. Go, learning my truth. This knowledge itself is the power. I'm taking my shit back too. Death to my foes, I'm Viking, unliking the moral. I'm sliding, so call me immoral. Immortal, my essence forever expressing my cosmic protection, my human expression, my God. Yeah, though I know it's me. I'm walking out of divinity. Straight up from my roots, I got to go green. I'm Marvel, Hebrew, Iron Man in my jeans. A blacksmith, metal craft, iron glass surgeon. Heavy metal craftsman, blade running Persian. Empirical king of the damn. Imperial guys with fury, and that's who I am.
There you go.
Yeah. I already know what it is. This is Nuverselive.com. One love to each and every one of you. We thank you. We appreciate you for being here with us tonight. This is going to be pretty epic. Pretty epic. It's been so much going on, and there's so many things that we can touch on tonight that I feel are going to resonate with you. Give me a second. Let me get rid of this echo.
Okay.
Is it because of YouTube being open or something? What were you telling me?
Yeah, you have to turn down the volume on the device.
Okay, to keep the echoes out. Okay,
Or
let's
how
see.
you can tap. How you can tap on the screen, and that way you won't hear the volume coming from the YouTube.
Okay. Do you still hear echo? Can you hear echo?
No, I don't hear no echo.
Okay.
How everybody's doing?
Can everybody hear us? How y'all doing out there? Can y'all hear us?
Is there an
Drop
echo?
something in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Peace, Kalia. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalia.
Yeah.
So I guess we can continue on. So this is Nuverselive.com. Welcome. I am Campson the Oracle.
And I am Ernest.
And we are here to share with you the libate and chill. The ancestors was like, this is what needs to be addressed right now. You know how when they say it like that, you got to do it. Reg now. So I was like, okay, we got to do this. So tonight, I hope that you have your libations for your ancestors, because without them, we would not be here. We want to give an honor to them, even if it's just a glass of water. You dedicate that glass of water to your ancestors, that with each drink, you are refreshing them on their own soul's evolutionary journey.
So if y'all can, go ahead and get it.
Yeah, go ahead and get it, because this go get good. We finna really get in here. And I have a Scorpio moon, and if you don't know astrology, most of y'all, I bet y'all know a motherfucking Scorpio. And so we like to go deep, and we enjoy the things that most people run from. That's what we crave. We crave depth. So we're going to be going into some of the wounds from our childhood and connecting them to our adult life, because right now, the primordial waters of noon, which is the energy that is casting over this year, everybody here is starting to see themselves in new ways. Everybody is starting to see themselves reflected back to them. We are living in the time now where you cannot not do shadow work. The universe is like, you go get this work whether you want to or not. So I want to be able to explain to you what's happening, why it's happening, and what to do about it. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And I want to again mention, we posted a link. If you missed it or you did not do this quiz, go do this quiz when this is over. We posted the link so that you could take a wounded inner child archetype quiz to see what your archetype is. Now, as I was going through the questions, I kind of felt like I knew what my archetype was going to be. And my archetype is the rescuer. That's my wounded inner child archetype. That's what I use to learn how to keep myself safe in unsafe situations. I learned to be a really quick problem solver. To know God is to know thyself. If you do not know these things about what occurred and how it impacted your inner child, you are chasing your fucking tail doing any type of soul work that you think you doing. You ain't doing nothing but running in circles, because the real issue here is that as children, we had no idea that we agreed to come here in this incarnation to experience some of the most wicked, painful, sad, traumatic experiences there is. This is what we came here to do. And as children, we didn't know. So I don't care what generation you from. I know we got people that follow us, and maybe you was born in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, 80s, 90s, millennials. Like, you should congratulate yourself for making it this fucking far, because most people, they don't get to the point where they're looking deep inside of themselves for the power that they know is inside of them and they're desiring to connect to. And after all that you have been through, for you to be willing to see your wounds in this way, I just want you to know that the healing has already began by you following your heart and coming here. So I want to make sure that I let you know. Yes, we celebrate you. Now, with that test, you're going to learn something about yourself that you might have been running from, or it may be something where you like, that makes sense. Now I see why my relationships go the way that they go. So the link to that test is in the chat. Did you do your test, Ernest?
Yeah.
What was yours?
Yeah, I did it. I'm a perfectionist.
Oh, that's so accurate. Oh my fucking goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, you drive me crazy.
And I love it, and you do too.
Yes, I do. But oh my goodness, that's my shadow thing that I cannot fucking stand about myself. So it's interesting that you find that is the way your wounds impacted you. Anybody in the chat already took their test? What was yours? What was your archetype? If you know, drop it in the chat. What was your archetype?
Yeah,
it don't take to be heard.
It don't take about maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really short, quick test. But if you want to share your archetype, just drop it in the chat. It's really interesting. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get into something that I want to go talk about, but I can't not talk about it. So let me share my screen with you. I can't not talk about it.
Underachieved.
Let me share
my
screen with you. Oh, wow. That's a big one for a lot of people. Wow. Okay. So this is the Healing Your Inner Child. You can get this free ebook. And the ebook also comes with a meditation to help get you centered and anchored. And this is going to be so fucking important and imperative through the Mars in retrograde, Mercury in retrograde, and many other planets. And as you can see with this full moon, people are losing it. Anybody that has severe traumas that have been unattended to is now vulnerable to walk-ins and entities to completely just hack into your system. And it's done through the wounds. And so again, to be born on planet Earth, you devolved in order to evolve. That's why we chose to be here. And, you know, I know some of you probably already saw this because I shared this on a community tab on YouTube, but we had a young 19-year-old young man drive through the city and just shooting any and everybody that he was able to aim at and hit. And he took 4 lives and 3 other people were wounded. But because he live streamed it, so many other people now will have that traumatic memory in their mind.
Right.
You know, so this is everything that I've been talking about. As crazy as it sounds, this is what it is. You can no longer run or hide from yourself. And so for those of us who are courageous enough to say, you know what, it's time for me to go within. I got some issues. It's time for me to seek some help. It's time for me to actually invest in myself and love myself more than I've been loving myself. And that happening day before yesterday was the thing that like solidified this tonight. And I immediately reached out to April, our amazing assistant. Like having her on the team helps things to go so much smoother. But I immediately reached out to her and told her, we got to do something about this because we're not even in the deep shit yet. It's just beginning. Okay, this ain't even in the deep stuff. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to help you identify if you have some of these wounds that are calling your attention to be attended to. And here are some signs that you can look out for to see, is that what's showing up for you and the thing that you need to be working on in order for you to ascend into your divine self, into the best version of you. But one of the signs is this: you tend to obsess about money. You worry that you don't have enough. You have catastrophic thoughts that surround going poor and becoming homeless. You overwork to soothe this anxiety surrounding finances. You become triggered whenever someone in your family spends too much money. You must be in absolute control of the money in your family or your peace is disturbed. That's one of the signs. And just that alone, a lot of us, I'm sure, can see and feel like, yeah, I can relate to that. Right? Ernest, did you relate to that one? Let me make sure we are right over here. I can't hear Ernest anymore. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear. Can you hear me now?
I can now.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that I definitely relate to obsessing about money, especially in the areas of not having enough. It sounds cliche, and everybody probably could say that, but when we get kind of fixated on it, like I have, then that's when you know that it's a part of your trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the interesting thing is, when you look at this on the epigenetic level, this worry was passed down to a lot of us. So it's not a program that we created. It was an inherited consciousness for a lot of us. Yeah. So this is, you know, healing your inner child is going to allow your finances to heal and increase. And this is when you're doing money spells and meditations and mantras and none of that stuff is working for you, it's because the wounded inner child inside of you is just like, nothing is never enough. It's never enough love. Mom and daddy was never with me enough, or nobody never cared about my feelings. Like the inner child part of us within our psyche is very powerful. And it lives in the root chakra. So if it does not, he or she does not feel safe, you're going to worry about money. Even when you got money, even when you get money, you almost be scared to spend it. Because you'd be like, I don't know what to spend it on. I don't want to waste no money.
Yep. Okay. It's good and bad at the same time, or it's beneficial and not at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Well, religion told us that the love of money was the root of all evil. And for anybody who ever heard that, or even if it went into the subconscious mind and you heard it and you just bypassed it, but it went into the subconscious mind, it left an imprint in your mind of not enoughness. That's one of the issues, because it was almost as if not being wealthy was something considered spiritual and a positive thing. And having a lot of money was a negative thing. If anybody ever made you sing silver and gold in church that you would rather have Jesus, I just want you to know that when you sing words, you manifest them. So that's just a little tidbit. You might just want to go back and write it down. Like, I'm not in agreement with the songs, some of the scriptures that I had to memorize. Like, I'm not in agreement with these things. So this is why some people would rather be poor, because they think that the devil is going to get them if they get wealthy. And a lot of times that's the subconscious part of you. So you're not even aware that you have those feelings towards being wealthy. The second thing is you have a general mistrust of others. If you have trust issues, and I'm not talking about what people gave you reasons to not trust them. I mean, people who ain't even really gave you a reason. You just don't trust people. That's your initial baseline emotion in regards to trust. That's because of the wounds from the inner child. The next one is you believe that the only person you can rely on is yourself. And you avoid asking favors from others, even when you really need them. I definitely do that. And a lot of Black and brown women have been programmed to only rely on themselves and not asking for favors, because for a lot of us, we didn't really feel supported or loved enough, valuable enough to even have that type of mindset to ask for help, because we didn't want to seem to be weak, because we had to be strong. A lot of us had to be the mothers and the fathers in households. You know, so asking for favors, sometimes asking for favors would lead to men asking for sex. And you just be like, you know what? That's my experience. It's like, I'm just not going to ask nobody for nothing no more.
Yeah.
So that's the reality behind that one. So hence the term superwoman, you know. Yeah. I know for you, Ernest, you had struggled with that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, let me tell you how crazy it is, because I'm just going to show y'all real quick how none of this shit really makes sense. Because as long as people asking you for shit and you able to do it, you feel like that makes you a great person. But when you need something and you don't want to ask, that's ego. See, unless it's intuition, it's your ego wanting to make sure that you look good. Sometimes we'll damn near get our car repoed before we ask for help.
Because I got you. Yeah.
So, now before I go on, let me just say this. After I go over a few of these, y'all, after about 10 more minutes, we're going to switch over from YouTube. So if you want to continue with us, then just follow us. April will make sure that you got the link to do so if you don't have it. And you can follow us over there. Only the first 30 minutes of this will be streamed, because I want to get into some other information towards the end of this. Yes, so I just want to make sure I say that before I go on. Okay, so the other thing is this. You are a workaholic and you tend to burn out easily. This is the person that will work until they just can't even work no more. Literally working, what would they say? Working your hands down to the bone.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves for that.
What you say? Yeah.
What about this one? You have a dysfunctional relationship with your family. A lot of us can relate to this. You feel like there's never enough to go around and you need to fight for what you want, especially in life.
Yep.
I gotta be a go-getter. I gotta be a hustler. I gotta work harder than all the other 90% of the population. It's so much pressure we put on ourselves, but it be the wounded inner child that's causing us to perceive our life that way. Another one is you're terrified of a loss of control. That's another sign. You are hypervigilant to any perceived signs of threats from others or your surroundings. That's me all day.
That's me too.
I'm walking out the grocery store looking over my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? You better not be in no bushes and be moving and shit and catch me on the wrong day.
Look, to an extent, we got to be like that.
Man, I'm telling you, then it made me throw my water bottle at you or something. So another thing is feeling dizzy, anxious, spacey, and ungrounded for most of the day. That's so many of us here.
Yeah.
The other sign of these inner child wounds and the root chakra imbalances, you find it difficult and scary to be your authentic self around others.
Man.
Next one.
Yep.
It's a few more. As I'm reading through these, just keep seeing which ones resonate.
Mm-hmm.
You feel disconnected from other people and nature. This is the person who says, well, the trees ain't saying nothing to me. Why y'all keep talking about y'all be talking to the trees?
Yeah.
It's you unplugged. You unplugged till you went numb to keep yourself safe. So everything we're going to be doing in the root camp is going to be to bring resolve to these things. And I'm going to talk more about that very soon. Another sign is you are a hoarder who likes to collect a lot of things, making your living space constricted and cluttered. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. You binge eat or stop eating completely when you get depressed or anxious. That's another sign. You have leg and feet problems such as swelling, infection, cramps, and poor circulation because the root chakra typically rules the legs and the feet. That is the branch of your tree of life that is connected to Mama Earth. And the last one is you tend to gain weight around the bottom half of your body, love handles and thick thighs. Okay, so this is the body trying to protect itself because you're in fight or flight. You don't feel safe existing in the world as your authentic self. Now, if your root chakra is deficient, it's going to be lifeless, sluggish, passive, blocked, inwards, not enough energy flows in. If it's excessive, you'll be lively, agitated, reactive, aggressive, outwards, too much energy flows in. Therefore, if you have a deficient root chakra, you will be more prone to issues such as anxiety, suspicion, and withdrawing. On the other hand, if you have an excessive root chakra, you will be prone to hoarding, workaholism, greed, and anger. Deficiency protects, whereas excessiveness overcompensates. So you either do one or the other. You either become super protective and just or you don't have no boundaries, but you overcompensate for the things that you feel that you lack. So this is now I want to make sure that y'all stay tuned in because I'm finna get all up in everybody's business and stuff regarding they romantic relationships, past, present, and hopefully not the future, because we go correct this in the 10-day root camp. So the question is, which one of these do you have? And you could fall somewhere in the middle of everything that I have just read to you. Now, when you have a clear, strong, and harmonious root chakra, you will firstly feel grounded and calm. You will no longer have fear surrounding money or loss of control, but you will come to trust the divine intelligence of life. And not only will you trust yourself more, but you will also feel connected to others and nature more deeply. When your root chakra is healthy, you will find it simple to be your authentic self, finding the inner peace that is always here in the present moment easier to connect to. And you will give up the need to fight, protect and defend, and will instead come into alignment with ebb and flow of life. So we're going to be going over some root chakra practices. Let me make sure. Hold on. We're going to go over some root chakra practices as we continue. And I'm going to tell y'all, when we slide on to the other side, I'm going to tell you signs of if you're in a relationship, okay? If you're in a relationship that has some of these connections, okay? Because a lot of us attracted people that were similar to the conditioning we subconsciously absorbed as children. And now that the veil is down and everybody fig leaves and been ripped off and ain't no more hiding for those whose third eye is open, we see it all. And it's just like, wow. I really do live as if I'm not safe. I don't trust the universe. I really don't trust myself. I don't trust that resources will always be flowing to me. And with everything that's happening in the world that I want to get into, with the food shortage and the formula shortage, and I've been sharing this in the community tab, so make sure that you go check those out. But we're being triggered intentionally to feel excessive amounts of fear and not feeling safe, so that we will become easy golem and sheep to be led to the slaughter. Because these wounds, when they are not acknowledged, they become portals that allow any type of entity that's picking up on your frequency to attach to you. If you think that you are above this happening to you and you're under the sound of my voice, I just want to let you know you have been severely lied to.
Yes.
We have entities attached to us often, even whether it's for seconds, months, weeks. That's why going within is so important right now, because if your root chakra, if you resonate with anything that I read, you are vulnerable. You are more vulnerable. Your spiritual immunity is reduced. So we're in a 10-day root camp. Every single day, we're going to be guiding you through healing your inner child wounds with information that cannot be found in books, because I channeled the information for the collective, specifically for each of you. No matter when you are viewing this, this will resonate. Okay, there is no time and space. I am a white galactic wizard. This is my galactic signature. And today holds the energy of the white galactic wizard. So I'm able to connect to energy that exists outside of time and space. This is why it's important to sign up for New You Mystery School, so that you can learn all of these things and learn these new ways of manifesting the life that you want. And the wave spell for today is the red serpent. I chose 9-9 for a very specific reason. But the red serpent is your life force, survival, and instinct. And right now, all of those things are under attack. So you are not alone. If you've been feeling some kind of way in this weird, wacky ass world that we live in, it's Twilight Zone all day, every day now. There is no normal. So we want to give you some help to get through this for 10 days. So follow us. The link, I'm assuming the link is in there for you to follow us and continue this with us. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm going to get into a little bit of this spiritual information as to how this is being done. And we're going to just break the matrix open and get us prepped for the root camp. All right. And this course will be available. It's already on the website. Okay. So we got y'all. All right. Let's
Peace,
see if I
YouTube.
can slide. I hope I know what I'm doing. I sure do. I know what I'm doing.
You good.
Okay.